Kardec Radio presents The File, an adaptation of the message by Humberto de Campos, Brother X, through Chico Xavier, from the book Tales and Parables, Chapter 7.
On the night he turned 50, John Matthew, a distinguished Spiritist speaker, gathered with his friends to pray in gratitude for life. When the house grew quiet, he went to bed. That night, John dreamed. He saw himself arriving at the gates of the spiritual world. Overcome by lightness and joy, he prepared to ascend into the splendor of heaven. But then, a kind worker at the celestial gate approached him.
John, before you move forward, it would be wise to take a look at your file, just to avoid any unpleasant surprises.
John accepted the shining document. On the first page, he read his own name, John Matthew. He began to read. Born in 1904, a peaceful cradle, loving parents, faithful friends. He continued, a bright mind, a sound body, good books, a calm youth, a comfortable home, no major illnesses, constant spiritual protection. At 20, he entered the world of commerce. At 25, he married, but lived as a man who enslaved his wife. He was a devout Catholic until 26, attending hundreds of masses without truly listening. At 27, he embraced Spiritism. He attended over 2,000 Spiritist meetings held in the name of Jesus, delivered more than 1,600 Spiritist talks and lectures, wrote moving letters and pages that inspired many. Well-known speaker, he was careful when discussing controversial topics. He had 4 children, an abundant table at home. Yet he never found time to guide his children in their journey toward Christ. He went on 106 trips for rest and entertainment. He showed significant intolerance toward his neighbors and was resistant to any change in habits that would allow him to serve others. He never noticed when his behavior offended others, yet was extremely sensitive to how others treated him. He only associated with people of his own social level. He spoke of fraternity, but avoided the inconveniences of real brotherhood. In material life, John had prospered greatly. He owned valuable property and had generous savings, all under the constant blessing of Jesus and his messengers. Then he reached the final line. For Jesus, who came to him in the form of beggars, the sick, and the needy, John Matthews gave, in his entire life, 90 cents. And beneath that, in cooperation with Christ's work of love, he gave a total of $12 to charitable causes. Then a single word, debt. Before he could read the rest, John awoke, trembling, breathless. Morning sunlight filled the room. He sat on the edge of his bed, shaken but deeply moved. That evening, he shared his dream with friends.
I've changed. This dream opened my eyes. From now on, I will unite my words with action. I will dedicate myself to serving, to building a shelter for homeless children I have long wished to help.
They all rejoiced. The experience had transformed him. Before leaving, John smiled and said,
Let's meet again tomorrow to begin the work.
But when his friends came to his door the next evening, John Matthews was gone. A sudden heart attack had carried him to the world he had dreamed of.